allowed me to be in charge of the school's Lost and Found for the last 3 years. She helped me learn about the importance of Toys for Tots program and has taught me about giving others and making them a good Christmas. Ms. Gwaltney has also helped me learn to cook. That's a very important skill set, to learn to cook. Ms. Gwaltney is very kind and helps me with my problems. She listens to what I have to say, helps me make good choices, and gives me the chance to feel like an adult. Ms. Gwaltney is the best. And these are big words.
Learning is fundamental, and teaching is more than the transfer of knowledge. Your passion for every student's success is seen by all, and that little fragment of your character alone motivates me to do the impossible. I will never be able to completely express my respect and gratitude for you as my teacher and mentor, but I hope that I have shown you, with my growth, how much you've ignited my desire to learn and increase my self-confidence. You've been a compass not only through guiding my studies, but also through showing me a little more of who I hope to be. Thank you for guiding me, thank you for investing in me, and thank you for caring.
And as a 9 to 11-year-old, I wanted to be an architect, or I thought I wanted to be an architect. I still want to be something similar, but I always knew I love to draw buildings and skyscrapers and make things out of Legos and such. And I always like to go to big cities and see the amazing things that man has created. And even though I thought I made my mind up, she had led me into, which is, I hope, still a great club at Westside, which is Chrome. If anyone was there, Chrome, which is the stands for Cooperating Hand-to-Hand Organization for Minorities in Engineering. It was amazing. You got to see so many different so many people from so many different companies come in and show you about their job in engineering, which got me interested in engineering, if I wasn't already. But I had seen so much of what that is, which is why I am going into the field of civil engineering at Virginia Tech. It's all because she thought of me and 20, 30 other students that were at the school, and I accredit that and the fact that I will always question myself due to because of this merging. So.
She introduced me to the college that I will now be attending, William & Mary in Williamsburg, and spent numerous hours editing my essays and writing recommendation letters to ensure that I was admitted. Honestly, I don't know if I would have gotten in without her. Not only has she become my favorite teacher, Ms. Scott has become a reliable friend. I view her more as a mom than a teacher, and she treats me like a daughter. I am terrified to leave her in the safe haven that she has created for not only myself, but all of her students, but I know that she has prepared me to succeed. As she constantly reminds us, she's only a phone call or email away. There aren't enough words that I could write or say that express my gratitude or love for Ms. Scott. Thank you.
From day one, Mrs. Ng has encouraged me to become involved. As a freshman, I was quite timid. Mrs. Ng helped me to come out of my shell. I began participating in volunteer events and fell in love with the Beta Club. Not only did Mrs. Ng help me to become an active member of my community, but also a leader. Because of her guidance and support, I became an officer of the club my junior year and president my senior year. As a freshman, I never once thought that I would ever be the president of the club, but because of Mrs. Ng, I developed a self-confidence that I will carry with me throughout my life. Additionally, Mrs. Ng has greatly influenced my decision in becoming a teacher myself. As my Virginia Teachers for Tomorrow instructor, Mrs. Ng has enabled me with the opportunity to intern in Mrs. Branch's kindergarten classroom over the past 2 years, where I was able to act like and feel like a teacher. Tonight, I want to not only honor Mrs. Ng, but thank her. Thank you so much for being such a positive impact in my life and for helping shape me into the person I am today.
strongest, wisest, and most intelligent women I know. There aren't enough words to express how extraordinary she is. Not only is she educated, she's a mother, cheer coach, and role model. I remember when I was just a 7th grader trying out for JV cheerleading, and I looked up to the returning varsity cheerleaders and saw how respectable and humble they were. I thought to myself, wow, I want to be just like them someday. They must have an amazing coach. And that's what Miss Carroll is, truly amazing. Her charismatic attitude and work ethic is contagious and rubs off on every team Miss Carroll has ever coached. Not many can juggle the many roles she plays on an everyday basis. I cannot thank her enough for making me into the young woman I am today, making such a huge impact on my life, and being the coach to a great program which will miss her dearly.
Clinton Buchanan wrote this speech to Mrs. Crump, and I have the privilege of reading it. It reads, "Ms. Crump has been an important person in my life since the 11th grade. She has worked hard to make sure that I am successful both in my classes and after graduation. She encourages me to be an independent thinker and to work hard for what I want. After graduation in June, I believe that the lessons that Mrs. Crump has taught me and the kindness she has shown me will stay with me forever. Thank you, Mrs. Crump, for helping me through my final years in high school and making an impact in my life and the lives of many others at Smithfield High School."
Theater has honestly changed my life, but the teacher has changed my outlook on life. She showed me a whole new world of possibilities, a world of creativity and self-expression. Through theater, Miss Beatty taught me to stand up for myself and how to say no. While I love being the go-to guy, I love being the man able to cut my own path through life even more. So while I continue to be the yes man of Windsor High School, I add to that a whole new view of what my life can be. Miss Beatty, you will never understand all that you have done for me. First and foremost, you helped me get into my dream school, James Madison University, and into their theater program. Without you, I never would have had the courage to even audition, let alone the skills necessary for me to get in. While you haven't molded me yourself, have given me the tools necessary for me to sculpt myself. And not many teachers allow their students the challenge of shaping themselves. One of Maya Angelou's most famous quotes is, "At the end of the day, the people won't remember what you said or did, but they will always remember how you made them feel." But Ms. Beatty, while I will never forget how you've made me feel, I will always remember how you helped me mold myself into the man that I am today, and the man that I'm going to become.
I have known Miss Beatty for 3 years now. She was my dorm room algebra 2 teacher. As I began the class, Miss Beatty and I sometimes did not get along because I always thought that she was picking on me. Anytime I would ask her to expand a step, she would always encourage me to try it on my own. This would make me very upset and I began to hate the class, but over time, I began to love the class. I realized that she was only trying to help and not hurt, because over the next 2 years of school, I had to learn that way in all of my classes. She taught me that sometimes you have to do things on your own and everything is not given. Now Miss Beatty is always there outside of her class as I walk the second block, smiling and waving, and we speak every day. She's also always there when I am being myself, a bit procrastinator. She writes me recommendations for colleges and scholarships, even for those recommendations that are due the day of. I would mention Miss Beatty and her positivity every day, telling me, "Good morning, Miss Ogle, are you having a good day?" And I just want to thank Miss Beatty for standing with me.
The teacher that has had the biggest impact on my schooling career has been my mother, Deborah McMahon, on behalf. Not only did I learn chemistry lessons while in her class, I learned many fun facts and life lessons. She taught everyone that the key to living a happy life is to forgive, forget, and move on when others have done you wrong. Being in class with her for a year is something that I will never forget. Everyone in life has teachers that create an impact in their lives. Some teachers more than others, but as for me, I was lucky enough that that person was also my mother. Thank you for everything you have done for me inside and outside the classroom, and I know that one day I will have the opportunity to repay the favor.
search teacher at Smithfield Middle School in both 7th and 8th grade. Mr. Rawls always made sure to include me in the discussions and conversations, which to this day were some of the best that I've ever experienced in Manor. A lot of the times, the most interesting conversations in class were ones in which I had only ever been exposed to one point of view. But through these discussions, I was able to open my mind and understand how other people approached issues and challenges within their own lives. He gave me the ability to acknowledge other people's points of view and not to judge them, but instead just to listen and understand. This skill has been so critical in my life as I moved through high school and into college. Without the open-mindedness that I gained in his class, I would have likely remained stubborn and stuck in my views, regardless of whether they were right or wrong. He showed me that there is so much more to teaching than just a curriculum. It is really about the personal connection between students and teachers. The world needs more teachers like Mr. Rawls, teachers who are willing to go above and beyond for their students. He could have just written me off as the quiet kid in class, but no. Instead, he took the time to make sure that my voice was heard and that I felt welcome. He gave us a chance to explore our interests through the Fish Tank Project and expand our intellectual pursuits through the in-class discussions. I am so grateful to be in your class, Mr. Rawls. Thank you for being such an inspirational teacher.
Throughout my high school years, I've been lucky enough to receive guidance and support from several of my teachers. One teacher that's continued to guide and influence my life is Ms. Laura Myers. My junior year, I had Ms. Myers for the second time in her Honors English 11 class. It was around the time I started having some serious family issues. My family and I were evicted from our home last October, 1 week after my 18th birthday. We were forced to spend 5 months living in and sharing one bedroom in my godfather's home. However, unlike the rest of my teachers who knew my family's recent downfall, Ms. Myers reached out to me. She understood that my entire world was falling before me and encouraged me to continue to excel in my academic and athletic lives. It is that care and support that has followed me throughout my senior year. Anytime I need someone to talk to or just some knowledgeable advice, I know that I can always count on Ms. Myers. She's one of the most loving and caring women I know, and I honestly consider her my second mother in circumstances. With help from Ms. Myers, I have been able to grow into the intelligent and independent woman I am today. In conclusion, I am truly thankful for every teacher that has helped guide and encouraged me to strive for my dreams. Though I believe Ms. Myers deserves more meaningful things for her constant reminding me of my dreams and for never allowing me to give up on them. Ms. Laura Myers, I really thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, Ms. Wilson was not able to attend, but I will be giving my speech anyways as if she was here. If I glance over there, it's because I'm thinking about Ms. Wilson. If you've ever had Ms. Wilson, you would know that she was very adamant about her vocabulary skills. I know some of her students in here too. So throughout the speech, I have put at least 5 of her vocabulary. So if you hear that some words here seem very kind of out of place or have a strong connotation, just disregard it. From the first day, I can remember Miss Wilson reading her course outline with a copious amount of expectations. As she went through her list, me being a very loquacious student, made a side comment to one of my friends. Hey man, what did I get myself into? To my surprise, she heard the remark and asked me to stay back after class. At that instance, I made a note to self. Never make a frivolous side comment because Miss Wilson has exceptional hearing and she will not tolerate classroom disturbances of any sort. What brings me here today is to recognize Ms. Wilson's dedication to her willingness to help all of her students succeed in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. During my junior year in high school, I was selected to attend Boys State and spend a week at Radford University. Out of my excitement, I went to Ms. Wilson to let her know about the good news. At this instance, she told me how proud she was of me and gave me a huge hug. Much to my surprise, Miss Wilson was so proud of me that she prepared a travel bag full of things that I liked and needed for the 7-day stay at Radford University, where I was elected sheriff and best citizen. Ironic, right? This benevolent act was so surprising to me because I never had a teacher to extend such a show of gratitude outside of the classroom. Teachers like Ms. Wilson really give students like me the motivation to succeed, because it made me realize that there are really people who care about you even when you're not in their classroom. My parents may have raised me, my family may have helped shape me, many people have tried to change me, but teachers like Ms. Wilson have truly embraced me. Thank you.
My freshman year, I was lucky enough to be put onto the varsity squad. That was one of the happiest days of my life. But I was also very scared because I realized that I would soon have you as my coach, and I wanted to live up to all your expectations. You soon became my favorite and most trusted adult in my life. You care about each one of us and how we present ourselves, not only inside of cheerleading, but also outside and on into the real world. Thank you for paying attention to me and recognizing when I was hurting and how I was feeling, because you knew I would try and act like everything was okay. You are a beautiful woman inside and out. Thank you for being my role model, and I hope I will make you proud.
After years of switching from teacher to teacher, school to school, and place to place, Ms. Ferguson was by far one of the best teachers I've had. She keeps the class in order, but yet we have fun while we do it. She's always there for you academically, but personally. She taught me to appreciate the little things, to never judge people, and to be happy with the work that I did. I used to think I was a good student, but now I think I'm a great student. Looking back on the work that I've done, it's kind of been substantial. I work hard, and she told me that I worked even harder, and I didn't even know it. I realized how much stronger my work skills have been and how much of a better student I've become over the years. She showed me that hard work pays off and that I should never give up, because a lot of times I felt like giving up. She thought differently. And that's why I wanted to recognize her, and I think that's why she's the best teacher.
Not only have you been the best teacher I've ever had, but you have also been like a second mother. I have known you for about 7 years now, and I have never met a better person or role model. You make chemistry so fun and interesting, which is why I chose to study it, and thank you for that. You are so intelligent in your work, and you care how students feel, and you help them when they need it, which makes you a great teacher. I thank you for everything that you have done for me, and all that you will do in the future. I can depend on you for anything, and you will do it. Oh, and definitely expect a lot of phone calls and visits from me with all my chemistry work. Thanks for everything, and don't be too happy. You will still be seeing me a lot. Love you, Mom. Sincerely, the son you've always wanted.
Coach Brooks couldn't be here tonight, but his wife and my second mom. He was very big on discipline, and it was a requirement as a player on his team to come to practice every day and work hard. One of his favorite sayings was, "If you're scared, go to church." And he often said that while throwing basketball at me. Coach Brooks instilled a hard work ethic in me, which helped me earn a full scholarship to Temple University to play basketball. Coach Brooks was a military Marine for 20 years, which probably had a lot to do with all the running for hours and the yelling.
honor teacher that has been the biggest influence in my life throughout high school. Mrs. Scott immediately came to mind. No matter how busy her schedule was, she would write however many recommendation letters needed or edit several essays for you. I came up to her one day and asked her to edit 6 essays for me by the end of the day for a scholarship that I had heard about the day before. She gave up her lunch to sit with me and look through my essays. Once I found out that I was a top 3 finalist for the same scholarship, I asked her to help me prepare for the interview. Again, she gave up her lunch to give me interview tips and ask me sample questions. With the help from Miss Scott, I was able to receive the Harry F. Byrd Leadership Award. This was a huge honor that I couldn't have achieved without her help. I know if I ever need her for anything, she would be there for me no matter what. She always puts the needs of her students before her own, showing how much she loves her job and how much she cares about each student. I cannot thank you enough for everything you've done for me, Miss Scott, and I'm going to miss you so much next year.
Last but hopefully not least. There are plenty of faculty members at SHS I could honor with this award, and who have been instrumental in my development as a student and as a person. But when asked to pick one, choosing Ms. Haley was easy. Before I took AP English, I looked at Ms. Haley and wondered how someone could be so perky all the time. To put it honestly, once I started her class, I realized that she isn't so perky all the time. But she's something much better, real. Being real is a struggle for anyone, but especially for high schoolers. It's trying to look calm above water while we're paddling desperately to earn the approval of our friends, teachers, parents, and college admissions boards. Ms. Haley once told a story that resonates with this struggle, and she's going to be embarrassed I'm telling the story to you guys. When she was a teacher, Ms. Haley told us that when she was a teenager, Ms. Haley told us that she tried to impress a strapping young lifeguard by racing someone else across the pool. Unfortunately, she became so focused on winning that race and the lifeguard's attention that she forgot to breathe, and the lifeguard had to rescue her. As Ms. Haley said, being saved by a hot lifeguard is not as romantic as you think. And so I looked at Ms. Haley and said, "How do you forget to breathe?" And she simply said, "Winners don't breathe, Grace." Of course, that wasn't the truth she was actually trying to get across to us. Ms. Haley challenged me academically, but she also reminded us that school and life is about more than winning the race. It's about remembering to breathe. Being real requires a recognition that life is complex, that we don't exist in a vacuum, but in multiple roles that require us to negotiate our beliefs with others and within ourselves. Ms. Haley acknowledged that one can't always do it perfectly. Plans have to be rescheduled, deadlines extended, and failures admitted. And when we didn't get everything right on time, when we snapped or had bad attitudes, Ms. Haley was forgiving and gracious. Throughout school, students often complain, saying, "This teacher acts like this is my only class." We often accuse them of failing to recognize real life. But Ms. Haley is an excellent teacher. She's dedicated to ensuring that everyone at SHS can become a better writer and a more critical reader and thinker. To me, though, she deserves to be honored because of her dedication to preparing her students for the future beyond just academics, for real life. She's prepared me to understand that college rejections, breakups, and occasional failures to finish homework assignments are inevitable. And sometimes the only thing we can do is to remember to breathe through them. So thank you, Ms. Haley. Thank you for letting me melt down, and for occasionally throwing the lesson plans out the window to teach us bigger.